Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Apocalypse World campaign, The Frozen Heights. This is Mr. JP Stilts, and I'm very happy to be rejoined by our three concurrent players. Once more, we will be joining the lives of Dusk, Lark, Chris, and Sam as they deal with the cold, the dark, the light, the nightmarish conditions that in some ways they might be bringing upon themselves. But I'm really happy to get back in here. So thank you three for joining me tonight.
Nice to get back to our fun little slice of life story.
Exactly. So yeah, but basically hopping back in, last episode, or the last time that we all played together, well, the caravan got back to the castle. There was a conversation between Lark and the Emperor. The Emperor is very upset with all the weird shit going on in the castle right now, and kind of blamed Lark for portions of it, not really understanding exactly what the entity is or how Lark's attributed to him or anything like that. But
wasn't even at the castle. Still got in trouble.
Exactly. They're able to smooth out their conversation, have an alliance of sorts. Lark learned that one of his family, one of his cult, has been arrested for a crime that he just can't quite fathom. He has found a few new followers in his cult. He's had another prayer in which he saw a vision that was very welcoming compared to what he's been dealing with the past couple days. A vision of completing a task, consuming this weird blue juice that seems to be attached to Princey in some way, will, well, seem to turn him into the entity. Well, Dusk happened to get a bit of insight into that as well, that Lark seems to have access to a very big red button. A big red button that probably means bad things for a lot of people. But there was a conversation between the two of them, and at the end of it, there was an understanding. There was a task placed before each other. Lark was to meet with Shazam, make sure that the entity keeps its claws out of him. Dusk was to help Larissa in any way that she can. A bit further north, poor Chris, he's been not getting a lot of sleep lately. His radar went off in the middle of the night. There was a massive incoming of something weird, something strange. He looks through his telescope, his periscope, whatever, or his cameras, the few that remain, to see a very large flock of birds. Birds that he's seen before. These birds that they're called a diving flock. They fly together in large groups to increase their airspeed, and then will dive down into the snow, piercing through the ice and upper layers to get down below where there's still remnants of grass and things for them to eat. They are one of the leading causes of avalanches in this area because there's a large amount of birds crashing into the side of a mountain, and, well, a bit of the snow is going to go boom. But these birds weren't normal. These birds weren't diving for food, they were diving for something else. He tried to follow them for a bit, see where they're going to crash, and, well, crash they did, very hardly, right into, well, the area known as Princey's place. And, well, Chris was expecting a visit from Princey, and this was a cause for concern. So, he went to investigate a little bit, and found that this massive pile of hundreds of birds had crashed into the area that held the canisters that had fallen through, the ones that Princey had shown, or that Chris had shown Princey a few days before. The birds were dead, but they weren't the only thing there intrigued by what was happening. There were a few other guests, the twins. Yeah, they made a new appearance. They found this strange man in strange gear that seemed to have no idea what was going on. nearby a place where a large explosion had just gone off, and they had a conversation. He seems to have earned their trust, and at the moment they're walking back to the bunker to wait out for Princey. The expectation that Princey will still come later in the day. As we start the session, it's still fairly early. We're going to go through and start with our starting moves, and then for Sam, you were still at the hilltop. You have a journey yourself to make, and we have a role for you to do, so we'll cover that here in a moment. But we're actually going to start just with Chris. Let's do your past roll and get more information on the past.
All right. Always keep forgetting what I'm supposed to roll for that. Roll sharp.
That's correct.
Ooh, 10. Very, very nice.
Yeah, so on a 10, you can ask a follow-up question.
All right, so I get a question and a follow-up question. So I am going to ask... Oh... It's so small on my screen. I'm trying to read that little past section. Who seemed safe but wasn't?
Who seemed safe but wasn't? That's a good question. So we've already kind of discussed that this event, whatever ended the world, was a bit slow at first. It seemed to centralize itself around areas that Enemo had influence of some type. We've learned that there are different types of beings. There are breeders, catalysts, and touched. But who seemed safe but wasn't? Honestly, I think that's got to be a very high-ranking member of Enemo.
There's probably a number of high-ranking officials because they would have broken up their branches, so not any one person could truly be pinned down for anything.
Right, but this one was a bit closer. There was a CEO that was in charge of a drilling site. His name was Demetrius, and they were in the process of drilling down, basically trying to pierce the core. There were you know that Russian drill that we have where they had to stop it before it got too hot. Well, they were trying to do that, and they had better technology. They were basically trying to pierce the core. Something was escaping, and Demetrius, he was probably the very first breeder, but nobody knew at the time. It was so long ago that it was probably forgotten, but while they were piercing the earth, something was piercing him, and the project went from safe to very unsafe very quickly under his watch.
So, I guess my follow-up question for Chris would be, what did Demetrius leave behind that I can use? Whether it be equipment, information, just anything. There's probably notes about this guy among the many, many vast archives in the bunker. But that's something that Chris is always looking at. When he finds a piece of information, how can he use this to further his goals?
Right. I think for you, it's access. Chris wants to be able to not just fight the things that exist beyond the Maelstrom. He doesn't want to just fight the Catalyst. He doesn't want to just fight the Touched. He wants to be able to get within and fight the beings where they all start. And I think Dimitri, he is the access. You know that something was opened at that drill site. And that drill site is the dark place where all of this stupid, weird shit seems to be spawning from. The dark zone.
Wasn't it the city?
Indeed.
So imagine there's like a drill site like within the city limits somewhere.
Yeah, Benamel wasn't always above board.
Yeah, so I imagine we just get this like brief scene of the camera just slowly panning over the various notes that Chris has laid out, and you just get the like bits and clippings of this Demetrius person. All right.
So Sam, it's been a little while. You've been on Hilltop. You saw those bastards that left you for dead. You quickly killed them, killed a wolf, got a truck, got a whole bunch of stuff in the back of your truck. You got a person sitting next to you, Kryn. You know, she's like you in the way that she's all about the goal, the reward, the treasure at the end of the trail. She is loyal as long as she has a task at hand. Well, after Lark and Abraham made their way, you know you had to make your way as well. You got to get paid. You know Old Man Peter owes you some money, and Kryn just happens to know a path that will take you down into the valley. Going the other way, it's not going to take you down to the valley at all. It's a 4-day trip going the opposite direction, and there's too much stuff you're trying to get to. Unfortunately, the path, it's been bathed by the rocky cold waste of all the cliffs around it. The bed of the truck is just full of gear. So I'm going to have you roll plus cool plus the vehicle's handling. And the vehicle handling for this truck is 1. So it's going to be a cool, basically roll plus cool plus 1. And you're basically traversing rough terrain. No problem at all. It's been a little while since you've been in a vehicle, but this is nothing compared to the Dusty Coyote. It's a small pickup truck. Dusty Coyote, that is a beast, and you have to rein in that beast. Sure, there were some bumps, there were some tight spots to get through. There may have been a few times that you felt the backs, fish around a little bit, but you scale through just fine. You make it through with all the equipment still in the back, and I have a list of all that gear. You got some guns, you have armor, you got remnants of some food, got a flare gun. There's all types of stuff back there. As you make your way through the valley, you head past Princey's place. Speaking of Princey's place, looks like a bomb has gone off there. You see the little side entrance, the walkway that went up the side of the cliff up into the mouth of the cave. That's just been sheared off the cliff, and there's nothing but rubble and rock and snow and ice covering the entrance. As you drive past that, whatever, crazy fucks deserved it, right? You make your
Try to
way,
get out of there when it's dead.
make your way through the valley. You come to the river, and there's been something that happened here. There's a massive hole in the river. You have to barely scoot your way around it. You hear the ice crack and groan beneath your tires, but you manage to skirt through. Continue down the path. It's fairly early in the morning. In the distance, you can see the castle. A bit of light shining from it. The lanterns and fires lit inside. Not much light outside. As you get closer, you see a bit of movement up on the walls. Do you keep the headlights on or off as you approach?
I'm keeping them off for now.
You can see that there's someone looking down from the tower. They can see movement. They can see the truck approaching. They're trying to see who it is. As you get close to the northern gate, you can see the gate is closed. There's one man standing on top of the gate, his arms crossed. He's wearing a leather uniform, this cross-stitched, blue kind of leather uniform, not with no hair on his head, his face completely shaved. As you pull
Alright.
close,
So I'm gonna stop the truck at the gate. Turn to Quirk. Is that how you say her name? Quirk?
Kryn.
Kren, thank you.
Mhm.
Kren. So I'm gonna turn to Kren and say, keep your ass down. Unless you want to shut off. Sometimes these people are a bit as crazy as our old ones. And Sam puts on her gas mask. Back to how she looked when she first came in.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna step out of the car, still have the truck, still have it running, and look up and say, and just kind of go, "Hey, can you get me what was the guy's name that she originally came here with? The ones of the Black Knights, the leader?
Night Sentinel.
Can you get me the Night Sentinel real quick? One of his guys. I brought some supplies from the outside, and a bit of information that they might want to know. If you can bring them out here so they can clear me, that'd be great."
The individual walks towards the edge of the wall, kind of reaches over and grabs a torch, try to shine it down, still not able to get a good view. "The Night Sentinel left yesterday. Who are you? Where did you come from?"
Ugh, that's great. Great. He didn't tell me he was leaving. Did he say where he was going?
"Back to Portum."
He's dead.
Who are you?"
And Sam just kind of motions for them to flick on the headlights, the big shiny ass red armor. Sam Davis.
Sam. "Hey Asher, we know any Sam?" Another individual makes his way down. Can't say we do."
Let me put this another way. Another person I sent ahead of you, one of my other bosses, and I'm going to mention, what's his name, Percy? Sorry,
Peter.
It's been a while since I played. Peter, thank you. I was working for Peter, and, of course, by extension, the Emperor at that time.
Oh,
We got a bit separated along the way.
you were on the caravan?
That's right. He can vouch for me.
Right, yeah, Peter had mentioned someone might be coming along. All right,
Yeah.
no problem. Give us a sec.
Yeah.
Place the torch back down. Dusk, you just had the conversation with Lark. You tried to go back to sleep, but now there's shouting going right down from where you're at, not too far away. You kind of look through the window and you can see past the walls, and you can see a truck, kind of just sitting there, a bit of a exhaust puffing from it. I have a large red armored person sits in the driver's seat.
It's like Sam's armor. Can it be like be identified as from Portum or something?
No, this is homemade, custom.
Yeah. No, this is...
Oh, okay.
That's why she, instead of just acting like it's part of the Night Sentinel, she wanted to have the Night Sentinel confirmed for her.
Right.
Because she's very unique in that aspect.
Okay. I mean, she'll probably stare at Sam for a bit, and just see what she's going to do with that huge ass car.
Right. After a few moments, you can see movement behind the gate as they begin to rise it up. There's there's enough space for a vehicle of this size to get through, because it's not that much bigger than the wagon is, not a ton, and probably nothing bigger. But as they get the gate risen up, there's one of them standing on either side. Bed of the actual cabin of the truck isn't all that big, and from their perspective, if you drive past them, they're probably going to see Kryn crouched down below the dash.
Well, I didn't tell her to crouch. She's allowed to sit up. It's just stay in the car.
Right.
So just act natural. Go with me. And I'm going to drive up to them, and I'm actually going to stop at them and say, want me to go park somewhere specific, or...
Yeah, you should have enough space. Take it to the garage, and you would know where it is, because that's where Portum pulled all their vehicles, so you'll have to kind of go through the entire castle, go through the marketplace, and the garage is towards the south entrance. Head over there, where we'll go catch Peter. He had mentioned that you might be coming, so we'll have him come meet you over there.
All right. Oh. And there was another person in the caravan. Why don't you let him know I'm here as well? Went by Lark, kind of a spindly fellow.
Right. Yeah, he made it back. I guess you were a bit lucky then. Doesn't look like you got hit by anything.
I hit things. I don't get hit.
Did you see anything? A caravan, there were two guys. One was dead, the other's dying. It doesn't look like anything went after you. Did you see anything while you're out there?
Unfortunately, no. I got ambushed by 4 people. Look at my friend over
shit.
here. She points at the one in the passenger seat. Showed up just in time to lend me a helping hand. Lark, too. That's why I was hoping Lark would be able to meet up with us afterwards. Lark went back to the caravan while I tried to gather up my things, and before we knew it, we got separated.
Right. Well, he's back. I think he's over there with his group. Go park. We'll get Peter out here.
If you could let Lark know to come see me as well when he can.
Yeah.
By the way, one last question. The one who's dying, did you ever catch his name?
Z. One of the helpers of the caravan. Little guy.
Good question. Is that the one who put a arrow to my head when I freaked out?
No, that was Look, and Look's dead.
Okay.
No, Z was the little helper. He didn't really do much. He prayed with the group a little bit.
He was the one that really seems like he was buying what Lark was selling.
Yeah.
Ah, that one.
Yeah.
Sam just gonna shake her head like, ugh. Wished it was the other one. Alright. Well, thanks. She's just gonna start driving. Nice and calm.
Right. As you begin to kind of pass through, going through the main part of the courtyard and kind of just passing through the marketplace, it's still fairly quiet. The hum of the vehicle seems to cause a few individuals to stir. You pass by a church, and there's an older man standing at the front of the church, kind of looks and just watches you as you go past. And you make your way over to the garage. You notice that, yeah, all of the Portum vehicles are gone. There's nothing there. You're easily able to find a parking spot for the truck and sit there for a moment. Lark, at this point, you probably hear, you've been trying to rest for a little while. You hear the sound of the truck kind of not revving, but just the steady thump of the engine, the groan of the snow as it rolls through. You open your eyes and you can see that Rourke is standing at the front of the church, his arms crossed, just watching this truck drive right by.
Lark will kind of get up. He's probably gotten a bit of uneasy rest, which he decides is enough to sustain him for now. There's still a lot to be done. He goes over to Rourke, and can he clearly see it's the same truck from before?
Oh yeah, you can clearly see the bright red armor driving it as well.
Lark walks up next to Rourke. He's just like, scary one. That was the other one from the caravan, the one that separated. Sam is her name.
Right. Yeah, she's got a presence to her.
I watched her gun down two heavily armed marauders and had the third at her mercy before I could even act.
Where'd she come from?
She came in with the Portum group, but she's not one of them. Honestly, if they were all like her, the Emperor wouldn't have any problems. Well, minus the Portum.
Right. Someone good to have on our side, then, it sounds.
I've been trying. She seems to... She's been wronged, but seems determined to go her own path. I think she'll come around eventually, but it's like constantly dealing with a cornered animal. One wrong move and it snaps, and I assure you this animal, when it bites, and Lark just kind of trails off a bit, and like the kind of like, yeah, it's dangerous, danger.
Right.
Flashing back to the moment he almost got his face blown off.
Right. The sound of the shotgun going off right by him. He turns. Go ahead.
For now, I think it's best to keep her directed at whatever went through Portum. We have many other things to deal with, unfortunately.
Right. You can get yourself enough sleep?
Enough, yes. It's too much work to be done to remain idle for too long.
Right. Look, you know me. I don't bring this up unless I gotta need to. The market has not been the way it should be. They're refusing to sell food. All the food's going off to saying to prepare for war. Our people's hungry. And the barter's just not seeming to get us the food we need. I was thinking myself and Ram, we might go on a hunt. I know we got a lot of stuff going on right now, but you know how our people get when they get unfed.
Indeed. Tell them to be patient for now. There are a few matters I must attend to, including ensuring Larissa is safe.
Right.
So many things all coming to a head all at once.
Seems
It's an
like.
These are the moments where you either emerge from the ashes greater than you once were, or simply burn up. I have faith, as I always have.
And we have faith in you.
I think I shall visit Larissa, ensure she is as comfortable as she can be. Hopefully she will not remain there long. I have another promise I made to the Wraith I must keep. Then afterwards we will see about getting the food we need. Something to sustain us for the coming days. You don't
All right.
The window for this is short, so we must move quickly.
I'll keep everyone close. We'll wait for you to return.
In the meantime, I managed to... must have left it in Peter's wagon, but I managed to get a vest from one of the marauders that Sam killed. Should be useful.
If we're going to face off, anything we can get.
At
Especially
this point,
for the
I'm
newer
not...
folk.
Yes. Abraham
You,
has that handgun he got. Let him keep it for now.
Right.
If
The boy's changed. He's
he
quieter
did well.
than he was.
He did well.
Good.
And
Good. Will you go deal with our girl? Let her know that I've been thinking of her. We all have. Need her back here with us.
Indeed. Lark kind of looks back over to the tower that he was at when he talked to Dusk and just says, keep an eye on that tower. Anyone that goes in or leaves. I don't want anyone disturbing the Wraith and causing more issues than there already are.
All right. I'll do that. Not a problem.
Honestly, it's becoming harder and harder to tell what direction the next threat might come. One step at a time, I suppose.
Well,
May the
they,
answer...
remember what they used to say down in the lowlands, circle the wagons? That's all we gotta do. You're back. Let us be here with you. You're not on your own, you know that. Doesn't matter what angle they come from, you got your family surrounding you.
As I have, but you know as well as I do. A good leader is willing to step forward and lead from the front. I do not intend to be a coward that uses his people as shields.
You
are all far too valuable for such a thing.
You have the protection and the mercy of the entity. You can withstand far more than any mere man can. You've shown us that. Those scars on your bodies, they are not symbols of war. They are signs of the beauty that you hold within yourself.
And I pray one day we will all... Enough chat. Larissa is waiting. Need to make sure that monster has not put his hands upon her.
Right. I've been listening out. It seems the Emperor had very specific orders for that fat bastard to stay away from the girl. I do hope that the man listened.
As do I. Because if he has not, I swear on my life I will paint that dungeon with his blood.
And I will be by your side. This all happened under my watch. If anything happened, it's my wrong to right.
Lark kind of just puts a hand on Rourke's shoulder. It is the fact you are willing to take such responsibility that I have kept you at my side for this long.
It is only by your guidance that I have the clarity to do so.
Lark just kind of smiles and nods. I shall return soon. And Lark turns and begins walking towards the dungeons.
Right. As you kind of exit out of the church, I'm assuming, Dusk, you're just still kind of watching over anything? Just kind of watching
At this point, she's probably going to back to sleep.
Right. So as Lark begins to leave, you can see in the distance the legate and Old Man Peter are beginning to make their way kind of towards the front gate. They're not that far ahead that you couldn't catch up to them if you wanted, but they don't seem to have noticed you. They seem to be on a direct course down, probably the same direction that Sam had gone. Sam, as you pull the truck in, Kryn kind of sits up a little bit, looks around. This is fucking it, huh? This is the fucking castle. Shit, these walls are bigger than I thought they'd be.
I never was one to lie. Now, answer me a quick question before we step out of here. You said my sister is personally leading the charge on that shit town down below? Referring to Portland.
No, that's... You know your sister, she's never gonna put herself in the front line. No, she had a hit squad to do that. That's what she had us for. She was sending us to find the back entrance. Portham's just a distraction.
Oh, I know. I just like to know what other forces I'll be able to pull back up here when needs be. Those sentinels were shit, but they make good body shields. And even body shields can shoot a gun if you show them right.
Look, if they're going down to Portham, they're going to be nothing but ashes.
They're as good as dead. I know. I know. Trust me. Remember? I came from you guys. Though none of you had shit on me. I also know for a fact, none of those fuckers could stand a chance at even the old gang. Let alone knowing what my sister's cooked up.
Sister's got new toys, Sam.
I know. She always did like those fucking toys of hers. Those fuckers were dead. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Shit, I don't even know if she'll be able to do anything about this place, though. What are we doing here, though? Get paid? Get on our way?
Well, I have a few favors to collect. One, payment for a job, as you obviously heard. Two, getting in good with the person who runs this place.
Alright.
After all, every nice castle must have a king.
True.
And if you happen to have that king underneath your puppet strings, just imagine what you can do with it.
They got anything good to drink here?
Probably. Though, odds are, from what I could see, it's probably still gonna taste like shit.
As long as it's strong, who cares? Hell, I'll drink fuel if it's gonna get me going. I just need something to rest my head.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will point you in the right direction once we get this done. For now, help me get situated. Having to kill those fuckers back up there drain a bit of my ammo, and I like to stay on top of it. And she's gonna open the door and step out and hop into the back.
As you open the door, you can see two men approaching you. You see the big old man Peter walking your way, and you see another individual, one that you may not have seen before. It's the legate, kind of a taller man wearing, again, very Caesar's Legion kind of style armor. Got a bit of a scar on his face, but again, no longer has no hair, completely shaved head, shaved beard. Old man Peter sees you and kind of raises his hand to wave. The man looks not broken. There's a force in his step. You can tell this is a man that carries a rage in his heart. You've seen this look before. Not towards you. He's just walking with a purpose. The legate even seems at times a bit difficult to keep up as they approach. Old man Peter. You made it back. Good.
Of course.
I guess
Heard
you
you had a bit
probably
of trouble after we got separated.
Yeah, it would have been good to have you there.
Yeah, but unfortunately, those fuckers up on the ridge ambushed us. Go
Right.
figure, huh?
Lark told us all about that. You know, Lark made it back to the caravan though.
Yeah, I made sure he managed to get back. Sent him early. And I brought a few toys. And just kind of taps the back of the truck. I'm sure you can find a few uses for these once I've picked out what we need.
He walks over, kind of looks. We've got everything we need. Maybe
It's always good to have surplus. I mean, if you don't want it, I'll gladly keep it.
It's not for me to take. Legate here, he can. He can take a look.
Very well. Very well.
We said 2 barter, right?
That's right.
All right. Opens his big jacket, goes in. He's got a variety of it's a mixture of basic jewelry, you know, kind of rings and all that kind of stuff. And he pulls enough. You can see some things kind of hang off his fingers and just sticks it out. I appreciate what you did for us on the way, but next time you say you're going to be with someone, do everything you can to be with them the entire way. We lost some good men on that trail back.
So I heard.
There's a
Sorry
fight
about
coming.
luck.
I've seen what you can do, and I hope that you will fight with us. But we're good. He drops the jangle in your hand. Our business
She
is
quickly
clear.
stuffs it in one of the many different pockets in her armor. It's a pleasure doing business with you.
Just kind of grunts. Walks away. Legate steps forward. So you're Sam.
That's
I'm the
right.
legate. He sticks his hand out to shake your hand.
And she slightly wipes it off, seeing there's still a little bit of dry blood on it from the last shot, and offers out the hand to shake. Pleasure.
Squeezes it with a force. As it is.
Squeezes back with just the same force.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a bit of a smile that goes across his face. Looks like you got yourself a bit of a load here. Good. So you're not from here. You came from the Portum folk. Never been here before.
I came and went. He hired me pretty quickly, so I wasn't in here long.
Right. Old man Peter's kind of that way, willing to offer scraps, as it were. Who's your friend?
Come on out. Introduce yourself.
As she walks out, you can tell the legate recognizes her gear.
And as soon as Sam notices that, he's like, yep, that's right. Meet the latest trader.
You can see him tense up a little bit. What's your name? Kryn. All right. Sam? You vouch for her?
She's on a tight leash.
Hmm.
And if she pulls on that leash and just lightly taps on the shotgun, I'll pull the trigger myself.
He walks a bit closer to you. Yeah, no, there can't be any of that, not while you're inside these walls. You see, we've had a bit too much violence, so if you're gonna have weapons, that's all fine, but keep them stowed away. If there's gonna be a fight, it's gonna be outside these
Oh, I'll
walls.
gladly shoot her outside like a dog. I don't care.
He goes and he kind of points towards his knife. Ammunition's scarce. If you gotta take someone out, use something that you're not gonna waste.
And she just immediately flicks her wrist as a knife pops out into her hand. You mean like this? Flicks the other wrist. Or this?
He smiles again. You see what I'm saying.
I'm glad we speak the same language. And she stashes them back in their hiding spots.
Well, look, I don't know what you've heard, but we've heard a lot about you, and I must say, the Emperor, he wants to meet you. He's in the process of getting ready for the moment. I know you probably had yourself a bit of a long trip. So, you need a place to stay? You need anything while you're here? I'll be your guy. I'll make sure to get it for you. Where can I fetch on you when the Emperor is ready to see you?
And she just kind of scratched her chin. You know, I drove by a church a little while back. I'm sure they'd be kind enough to let me squat there for just a little while.
Oh, yeah, that Lark and his group. You were with them. I have no doubt they'll be happy to have you stop by.
Oh, really? I didn't know. What a coincidence. Well, I'm glad to see we have something sorted out. Anyway, I'm gonna restock some of my ammo because I had to use a bit of it on some old cohorts of hers. What fun that was. After that, you're free to take as you wish. I have no use for these, as you can clearly see.
Kind of.
And I figure we have a bit of a fight up ahead, according to, and she kind of notices the fat man over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I figure you can use all the help you can get.
He looks down. Those are good. We'll make sure you are rightly paid for those. I'll have one of my men come over, keep an eye over everything, make sure nothing goes walking away.
Very good. And Sam just starts dipping into the truck and starting to grab ammo and line it into her belt pouches. Just like, now, need anything else?
No, as I said, I'll go speak with the Emperor. I'll come fetch you when time's come. It's about time that if you go knock on the door real hard, our barmaid should be able to get you a drink if you wish.
Just kind of looks over to the cohort and says, "We appreciate it."
Kind of smiles, and it's been a long time since a legate saw someone that might be able to compete with him in a sense of battle, and yeah, he's all into that. Kind of turns, walks away. Kryn is in the back, kind of just fiddling with the strap of the rifle around her chest. And you know, it's all about survival. You don't gotta be calling me a traitor. What was I supposed to do, just lay down and die?
Well, to be fair, putting the tag traitor on you is probably the only thing that saved your life. So, think of it as a lifeline over a insult, if you will.
They're playing
look at
with
it this
sticks
way.
and stones. I've got this. Kind of pats the strap. You can try. There ain't no man in this place is gonna be able to do shit to me. Or you. That boy, he doesn't know who he's playing with. You know that, right? He's scared. You see that in his eyes? Yeah. Sam,
you still
this
have a lot
place.
to learn. And she's just gonna slowly after lining up all the pockets, you said, just gonna walk up and just pat her on the back and go, just go get a drink, yeah?
Right.
We'll talk later. Might need you again to lay down exactly how fucked that that backward city is. Try not to get too plastered, yeah?
No.
I'm just gonna start walking.
Right. So as Sam begins to head over, we transition. Still, again, early twilight. The sun hasn't really started rising enough, but there's enough light to see three individuals walking through the snow. All of them dressed in white. One with a very nice rifle on his back. The other two with bows, still held in their hands, just not drawn, arrows pointed down to the ground. Heading towards the bunker, we see Chris and the twins. It's been a little while since anyone spoke when you hear a chirp go off. Boys, do you read? Twins stop. One of them goes for his radio, pulls it up. Father, is that you? Boys, we're stuck. What happened? They both kind of look at each other. They walk a bit closer. You can see they're trying to hide their voices a bit as they kind of talk into the radio. What do you mean, Father? What are you saying? Chris, you want to do anything?
Chris will walk a little bit closer to try to hear, but he's not saying anything because he wants to be able to hear the conversation they're having.
Right. There was an earthquake. There was something. The roof collapsed. So many dead. Twins stop. Immediately, like, put their bows on the back of over their shoulders. What do you need, Father? We can try to get to you. No, it's no use. Entrance is all caved in. Can't even get into the... Boys, you gotta find help. There's a man. Shit, I don't know where he came from. He was here yesterday. I was supposed to meet him in the morning. He found a back way into our home. A tunnel, a cave, something. You gotta find him. He's north of us somewhere. Just go. He'll find you.
At this point, Chris will get a little bit closer. God damn it. Princey.
They turn. They stop. Father, I think we've already met him.
Chris kind of like just looks at them. Told you so.
Yeah, there's a little, like, again, you don't really see much past their goggles, but give them the radio, boys. They hand you the radio.
Chris takes it. I imagine it's a pretty standard walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Chris just pushes the talk button. Where are you?
It's all collapsed, everything. We were all... You can kind of hear now that you're closer to the radio. There's the sounds of groans and moans in the background. We were all in the holy chamber having a prayer. And there was a massive crack. The roof started caving in. We can't get out of the room. There's This is my fault. This is my fault.
You didn't cause this. One of the other things I warned you about did. Now, sitting here playing the blame to solve any of these problems. You gotta tell me
No.
where you are.
You don't understand. If I had... You told me not to do it. You told me not to, but if I would have done it, I would have saved my family. Now they're dead. Dead because I didn't go through with what I was destined to. No, this isn't my fault. This is... I should not listen to you. You don't know what you're talking about. They're all dead because I listened to you. Because I didn't baptize them. Because a mother couldn't protect them. No,
Chris
this
sees
isn't
this
on
going.
me.
Chris sees this going south and doesn't know what to do. Listen, I tried to bring you to the bunker to show you exactly what I was talking about. If you had done what you were going to do,
We said the morning. It's not morning yet, is it? But that night, if I had just left you alone, my family would have been baptized and they'd still be with me now.
they'd have killed each other.
No. Have my boys killed you?
They ain't baptized.
They are. The only ones that have been. Them and myself. That's it.
Oh, God damn it, Chris would have known that. Chris just kind of looks to the twins to see how they're reacting.
They're sad but contained. They do not act without their father's order, so their emotions are meaningless.
Oh, hell. I'm gonna read a situation.
Yep.
Because this suddenly became walking on incredibly thin ice. And there it is.
All right. Read a sitch. Yeah, ask one anyways.
Oh, no. Oh, God damn it. I'm guessing he would have. Chris wants to know, like, what's the best way, like, into, like, the tunnels to save Princey.
Right.
Because, Chris is very much afraid of, if he's in this chamber, he might do something drastic now with all that stuff. And if he dies, there's no telling where the power, like where the entity within him, the breeder, will go.
Right. Yeah, the best way in. You have explosives. So basically you'd have to do as the birds did.
Oh my God, am I going to make a bird bomb?
Basically blast in from the ceiling. Yeah. The entrance is blocked and the tunnel's blocked and parts of the ceiling are collapsed. So again, Chris has a relative layout of the area. If he wanted to get in, he could probably blast a hole in the roof of the cavern, but that's the risk you're gonna have to take. You don't know who's underneath. You don't know exactly where you're gonna get through. But yeah, that would be the quickest way and safest for you way, because you have a much wider area that you can run away from said explosives compared to a tunnel.
Right. Chris kind of like grits his teeth a bit and looks at the twins. Listen, I have something that might help us get in there, but it's not a safe way.
They look, stick their hand out for the radio.
And Chris hands it back to them.
As they grab the radio with one hand, they grab your other hand. And for a moment, you can see their skin kind of outstretched behind the glove. Princey was still, he wasn't as opaque. You can kind of see through him. You see what looks like, you know those, in the Matrix, those two twins, when they go kind of a bit ghost-like, kind of like a jellyfish.
Oh boy, so they are much further along than they
much.
initially appeared.
Much. Yeah.
Oh boy.
And they grab your hand. Yeah. You're gonna get our family out of there. And I think that's your that's your miss, is that your read of these two individuals. This is something far beyond the scope of your understanding. It's one thing to see Princey, yeah, that's weird. These two, you don't even know. You're just seeing a small portion of them. You know that hidden beneath their layers of clothing, there is so much more stuff that you just don't know. You are facing a completely unknown enemy at this point. And
yeah, Chris probably freezes up a little bit. He was not ready for them to be catalyst caliber phenomenon as well.
right. You don't get that read on them because they don't have that kind of vibe of the ability to change, but they are full on, absolutely full on, full blown touched. Like you never knew exactly what Princey was. You never got the full show of it. And you're not even getting the full story here as well. But yeah, as far as weird shit from the Maelstrom, these twins are exactly that.
Would Chris know if they have the potential to become catalysts at this state?
So yeah, with more access to power, absolutely. I would say kind of like if you take anyone that kind of gets their opening into the Maelstrom, you know, as soon as they start allowing themselves to be influenced by it, all it just takes is the right spark to increase that output, kind of like a sponge, you know. That's why when you look through like pockets of Hocus, they might have a follower that gives them that insight. You know, they're a bit more than everybody else. They are almost a catalyst themselves, given that insight to be able to tell everybody what the future might show if they follow their way.
All right. Chris just looks at them, a little bit more tense now. He's like, I can show you exactly what I was going to show Princey. I can get the explosives. It's the only option they have. All right?
Pulls you a bit closer. Look, we know this wasn't you. This was the darkness. We gotta stop the darkness. That's the only way to save our family. Get our family out of there, yes, but you have to help us fight the darkness. It's the only way we're gonna be safe. You saw what those birds did. You saw what those birds are. They're trying to kill us. You see it now, right?
Chris's eyes kind of glance to the glove he has on his keychain, and he just says, "I've known it for a long time."
They release your hand, kind of pull the radio close. Dad, Father, just hold tight. This man, he's gonna help us. All right? The mother will protect you. Care for them. They're still there, Dad. They're not gone yet. Care for them as you cared for us. We'll be there soon. No response from the radio.
Well, I guess we ain't got time to wait. And Chris turns and starts moving towards the bunker at a bit of a jogging pace now.
Right? They all begin to follow along with you. Lark. Chris, did you have anything else?
Nope. Chris is just, in his head, is just, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Right. I should have just stayed home and had potatoes with Tammy.
He's got a bit of that mindset now. Like, things went from okay, I think I can handle this situation, to, oh my god.
Yeah. There's some crazy stuff going on now. Well, speaking of crazy stuff, Lark, you've headed towards the dungeon. You find your way kind of down into the torchlit walkways deep below the ground. Sounds of dripping water kind of come around this corner, and there's probably 4 individual cells, 2 on each side of the wall. There's a room towards the back that you can see there's just a candle lit there, and there's the deep snoring of an individual. Walk down the hall a little bit. You can see one of the cages has just been left open. The other 3 are still locked tight. Kind of peek around to see who's snoring, and you see the large, fat, bulbous, messed up body of Crusacious snoring, drooling on himself. A mixture of vials and bottles of different shades of liquid, implements of torture strewn all around the room. A place of not just darkness. This is not
advanced darkness.
Yeah, it's just a bad place.
Oh.
You can see
Sorry.
that. Sorry, what's that, Sam?
Sorry, I couldn't help sneak that joke in. I apologize.
In one of the cells, you can see the colored bracelets, the purple jacket, long hair, curled up, facing away from the door, sleeps Larissa.
All right. So Crusacious is in the room beyond the cells. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, Lark just sees him and just has this absolutely disgusted look on his face. Just a glutton of torment. Just a disgusting creature. There's probably a moment where he's looking at the sleeping Crusacious and his hand just brushes the handle of his knife, but he knows that'll cause more problems than it will solve at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lark takes the knife and takes the handle and hits it off one of the bars. because chances are Crustaceous is gonna wake up if he tries to like wake up Larissa. So and he wants Crustaceous like where he can see him. He doesn't want to turn his back to him.
Right. Yeah, you clang it off, and Larissa kind of jumps, turns around. You can see that she looks very tired, hungry, a bit scared, but as soon as she sees you, she kind of scrambles to her feet, comes over and like tries to just reach out for you beyond the bars.
And Lark will get closer and extend his hand, but he keeps an eye on Crustaceous, like just gripping the knife in his hand.
Right. Yeah, you hear a kind of goes back snoring. Crustaceous had a long night doing other things. He's just a simple clang on the bars. He's used to that. Think about the people he normally gets in here. They're pretty loud.
Lark will kind of like turn his head just enough so he can look at Larissa, but he wants to like keep Crustaceous in view best he can. You just hear him out loud. Disgusting thing. Are you all right?
I'm good. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I lost my cool.
Lark just like holds up a hand like to stop her. He just says, "I've spoken with the Wraith. I know it was not you who made the mistake. Those who made the mistake got what they deserved."
I don't know what happened. I'm never surprised. I know what's coming. I know I have to face the crimes. It's right. It's not fucking right. Those men deserve to die. Lark, I don't know what to do.
You did what had to be done. I've discussed it with the Wraith, who will relay the story to the Emperor. You will be absolved of these so-called crimes, and those men will be left to rot.
Okay. I don't know why she helped me. There was no reason for her to. I don't know if she got hurt, but they shot her.
And I don't know how like good the lighting is, but Lark definitely still has his robes that are like he's never cleaned them, so they still have the blood on them from like the various wounds he sustained, and he probably even in this torchlight looks really, really tired, like really drained. And he allows his eyes to drift a little bit more towards Larissa, just so this next bit can be a little bit more comforting. And he just says, "You won't be in here long, I promise."
All right. It's been getting weird down here. There was this man here last night, Lark. I think he was the medic. He spoke to me as if he knew me, and it didn't sound like it was him. I don't know how to make this sound like I'm not going crazy. Maybe I am going crazy. He spoke to me just as you have when you're in your prayers. He said that there's another prophet. Lark,
Lark kind of looks a little bit more like serious at the mentioning of that.
He said I should be scared. He said we should all be scared.
Describe this man to me.
He's not a man, he's a boy.
Lark, I think he puts two and two together.
Don't eat the meat, Lark. Don't trust the butcher. His boy's putting something in there. He's showing people these dreams. He's showing them but the dreams come with nightmares. It's not just that. Lark, I think you're in danger here. This is not this man that was here. He said that he was not alone, that there are others that were watching out for you while you were gone.
I see. So it seems the Emperor's claims have some validity after all. And here I thought he might just be going mad himself. Oh, no, this whole place is going mad.
This was supposed to be easy. It can be again, right?
An old world prophet once said the only easy day was yesterday. But that has not stopped us and never will. Those who grow complacent, those that seek the easiest path, are those that die off, leaving strong to continue forward, marching their own path. We are the strong. We will continue marching, as we always have.
As we always have. I've heard some of the guards talking. There's so much stuff going on. I hope they don't forget about me.
I will
need
not
to get out
let
of here.
that happen.
I know. I'll be patient. That thing in that room, I fear he might be as dangerous as anything out there. He's been making things, talking about
Lark, has he threatened you?
No, not me, but that other man that was here. It's a good thing the legate came and got him when he did, because he said he was going to carve the darkness right out of his soul, and I believe him. I believe that he would.
Lark kind of takes a breath. That these things do not happen. I simply need you to trust me in these next few moments.
I always trust.
Lark kind of smiles a little bit. Then he stands back and he goes back to banging on the bars. And he just shouts, "You damn pig, get up! My patience is wearing thin."
After a moment, hear a large belch come from the room. You see him kind of slowly move to the side. Goes to stand up as he does. The various piercings and chains he has across his body kind of jingle, and he walks towards.
Did
Who
I
the
stutter?
fuck are you, and why the hell are you down here?
I'm here to ensure you are following your instructions, pig.
Who the fuck are you to tell me what I gotta do? Pig. I've been called worse.
Oh,
Again.
I'm sure.
Why the fuck are you down here? Oh, is this your girl? Right. So you're that fucker that's bringing all this weird shit here. Yeah, the Emperor's told me about you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he may have protected your girl there, but, you best hope you never end up in my cages. You and I got a lot to talk about.
Oh, we do indeed. Lark takes a step closer.
As does he. You think
Lark.
your darkness gonna protect you down here? No. There's no safety down here in this place. You wanna make a move, boy?
Lark actually laughs at the mentioning of safety. Safety in this world is merely an illusion, my friend. You may think you are safe down here to do your wicked deeds, but I assure you, Lark takes one more step. I despise everything you are and what you stand for. You may not be afraid of me, but you need not be afraid of something for it to destroy you. And Lark opens his mind.
All right. Let's do it. Oh,
This
this
is gonna be
dungeon has had a few open mind moments.
Oh, it has, and this is tense as all hell.
I somehow
Awesome.
find it fitting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is, but I was like, okay, if I fail here, opening my mind in the presence of this thing.
Right. All right.
Alright.
So what are you opening your mind for?
Lark is opening his mind, wishing to exploit any fears or vulnerabilities that Crusacius has.
Mm.
He's looking for every weakness in this human being, if he can be called that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, you find yourself looking into a pig pen, and this big bulbous hog with the face of Crusacius, just big, ugly, disgusting. You know, it's got brown, white spots on it, just covered in gunk. It's just snorting around this pig pen, looking, searching for food, just groaning out, so hungry. You can tell the stomach just kind of pulls in on itself, just so full of hunger, looking for that hand to feed it. You see the hand. You see the bucket full of mess of slop ready to feed this pig, carried by the Emperor. If there's a fear the Crusacius has, is that he no longer works or is allowed to work or is no longer part of the Emperor's bidding. The Emperor is his god. The Emperor is what keeps him sated.
Interesting. And definitely, if there's anything Lark can call the entity on right now, he wants to do something that will show Crusacius that there is more to fear to Lark than just Lark.
You know the Emperor's true name.
Mark.
A name that no one else knows, which means you have access to the Emperor that no one else does. Maybe not physically, but you know the man behind the mask. And again, he sees this man as a god. He does not believe his god can bleed.
For like the cool like shadow effects that happen, can like just all the torches go out?
Right. Oh, he's not afraid of the dark. Again, he's not going to Bane monologue you, but he would totally Bane monologue you if he had the time.
It's not necessarily like the dark, it's the fact that Lark is showing that he has power in doing this.
Right.
I mean, I think the
Like I am altering his domain through sheer force of will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like shadow imagery would be more effective than blowing out the
Well,
torches.
it's almost like there's darkness, but somehow your shadow is still there because it's darker than the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
That even though there is no light, there is still the sense of movement behind you.
And Lark just continuing. Oh, you look upon the Emperor, the man known as Mark, as if he is a god. I knew him before he was even the Emperor. I knew him before he was even a man.
He steps forward again and shoves his big bulbous finger into your chest. You do not speak. You don't speak his name. You are you're a snake, nothing more. False words. False prophet. Get out of here. Get.
And Lark just kind of continues looking at him. Oh, you poor creature. Perhaps after Mark sees that I can do things that you can't, this will be my domain. You won't be needed anymore. And you will be gutted. The bacon, because that is all you are good for. And it's only a matter of time before Mark sees it too. And Lark will just slowly back up, keeping an eye on Crusacious. If you lay a single finger on her, I will burn this whole place to the ground.
Your tongue will be cut from your head. You slander the Emperor. He'll hear of this.
Lark just smiles, and he actually makes like like he sticks his tongue out a bit, makes like a scissors motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just backs off. But as he rounds like the first corner, he stays and listens. Because if he does anything to Larissa, Lark is gonna kill him here and now.
Right. You hear the big booming steps as he goes back into the room, and you hear the sound of a match being struck to light the candle in his room. After a few moments, you hear heavy breathing, and you start to hear the sound of cutting. Just that slow sound, just breathing heavier. After a moment, you start to hear the small drips. Blip, 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 blip.
As he is heading up the last bit of stairs, and he hears those drips, every drip, Lark just whispers, "Mark." kind of in beat with the drips, just enough so Crusacious will hear them as a whisper.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So as you exit out,
And I think with all the weird stuff too, Crusacious continues to hear it even after.
oh yeah,
Lark
it
is
echoes. Yeah, it's not even just in the drops of blood; it's the drips of just the moisture as well. Like, yeah, it's just everywhere now.
Oh boy, Lark's gonna go up to the Emperor. So I broke your broken toy.
Right. There's no duct tape for it now.
No, oh yeah. Larkin thoroughly enjoyed that
Awesome.
because he's showing that there are, even though physical wounds don't bother Crusacious, he can still be damaged.
Right.
And Lark takes great satisfaction in that as he walks up from the dungeon.
So
And yeah, he just kind of gazes out over the courtyard and just mumbles, "Time for the child."
So as Lark exits, let's take a quick 5-minute break. We're at about an hour and a half right now. So yeah, we'll take a quick 5 minutes. I'm going to refill my water and we will come back to see what's next.